This is Akashavani Mangaluru. Dear listeners, in today's Talk in English program now, Edwin Santhan D'Souza, Assistant Professor of Chemistry, Saint Philomena College, Puttur, will speak on the topic Energy Transition, a call to action for the youth.
On July 30, 2024, Wayanad, a serene district in the Indian state of Kerala, witnessed an unprecedented natural disaster, an intense flood that wreaked havoc on the landscape and disrupted countless lives. The flood waters surged through towns and villages, destroying homes, washing away roads, and displacing communities. But this was not an isolated incident. It was part of a larger pattern of environmental catastrophes. The culprit behind these disasters is not just the nature itself, but the significant changes in the Earth's climate system driven by human activities. Climate change has become one of the most pressing concerns of our time, and its impacts are felt globally. From floods in India to wildfires in California and droughts in Africa, the world is experiencing the consequences of a rapidly warming planet. At the heart of this crisis is the rise in global temperatures, which in turn is linked to an increase in greenhouse gases such as carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. These gases are primarily emitted through the burning of fossil fuels like coal, oil, and natural gas for energy production. The history of energy use is closely tied to the development of human civilization. From the dawn of agriculture to the Industrial Revolution and now to the digital age, energy has been a driving force behind progress and growth. However, the pursuit of energy at any cost has brought us to a point where the environment is deteriorating. The impacts are not just limited to nature but extend to human lives as well, with millions of people facing health risks, displacements, and loss of livelihoods. It is in this context that we must consider the urgent need for an energy transition, a shift from fossil fuels to cleaner, renewable energy sources. The goal of this transition is not only to mitigate climate change, but also to create a sustainable future that ensures the well-being of the planet and its inhabitants. The youth of today have a crucial role to play in this transformation. Their energy, creativity, and innovation can drive the world toward a cleaner, greener future. Long before the advent of modern civilization, human beings lived in harmony with nature. Energy was primarily derived from manual labor, animal power, and burning of wood for cooking and heating. With the emergence of agriculture, society experienced a significant transformation. The agricultural revolution, which began around 12,000 years ago, led to the clearing of forest to make way for crop cultivation. This marked the beginning of human-induced environmental changes. Forests, which had once covered vast areas, started to shrink, and the loss of trees gradually altered local ecosystems. As human populations grew, so did the need for more land and resources. The cutting down of trees for agriculture, fuel, and construction became more widespread. In addition to deforestation, the construction of early infrastructure like roads and settlements further disrupted the natural landscape and laid the groundwork for more significant environmental challenges in the centuries to come. The real turning point came with the Industrial Revolution in the 18th century. The discovery and utilization of coal as an energy source triggered a dramatic shift in human history. The invention of steam engines and machinery allowed for mass production, leading to rapid urbanization and economic growth. However, this progress came at a cost. The large scale burning of coal released substantial amounts of carbon dioxide and other pollutants into the atmosphere, initiating the process of anthropogenic climate change. The discovery of oil and natural gas further fueled industrial activities, transportation, and electricity generation. The impact of this rapid industrialization was not just limited to the atmosphere. The extraction of fossil fuels led to land degradation, water pollution, and loss of biodiversity. The consequences of this energy paradigm, which has relied heavily on the non renewable and polluting resources, are now evident in the form of climate related disasters, declining air quality, and an increasing strain on natural ecosystems. With the advent of 19th and 20th centuries, the world saw unprecedented economic growth and technological advancements. The industrial boom brought convenience, wealth, and opportunities to many, but it also ushered in a period of environmental exploitation. Coal fired power plants and gasoline powered vehicles became symbols of progress. The exploitation of fossil fuels accelerated at a breakneck pace, leading to the over extraction of natural resources. Unfortunately, the seemingly limitless consumption of these resources came at the expense of future generations. By the time the 21st century arrived, the world had reached a critical juncture. The environmental cost of industrialization and fossil fuel consumption were becoming impossible to ignore. The concentration of greenhouse gases in the atmosphere was at its highest level in millions of years, causing the Earth's temperature to rise. The result was not just global warming, but a cascade of related problems: melting of ice caps, rising sea levels, extreme weather events, and disruptions to agriculture and water supplies. The climate crisis was no longer a distant threat but an immediate challenge demanding urgent action. The realization that the fossil fuel driven energy system is unsustainable has sparked a global movement towards energy transition. This shift is about more than just switching energy sources. It involves rethinking how we use energy, how we live, and how we interact with the planet. To reverse the damage caused by decades of fossil fuel consumption, we need to focus on clean and green energy solutions. This means harnessing energy sources that do not produce harmful emissions, such as wind, solar, hydropower, and geothermal energy. These renewable energy sources have the potential to replace fossil fuels and provide a sustainable solution to our energy needs. One of the most significant developments in the field of clean energy is the advancement of solar and wind technologies. Solar panels are becoming more efficient and affordable. Wind turbines, both onshore and offshore, are also gaining traction as reliable sources of energy. The combination of solar and wind can create a diversified energy mix that reduces our dependence on fossil fuels. Energy storage is another critical component of the energy transition. Batteries, especially lithium ion, are becoming essential for storing energy generated by intermittent sources like solar and wind. Breakthroughs in battery technology are enabling the development of the electric vehicles with longer ranges and faster charging times. EVs, in turn, help to reduce carbon footprint of the transportation sector which is one of the largest contributors to greenhouse gas emissions. Biofuels and hydrogen are also being explored as alternative energy sources. Biofuels can be produced from organic waste, crop residues, and algae, making them a renewable and low emission substitute for gasoline and diesel. Hydrogen, when produced using renewable energy, can be used as a clean fuel for industries and heavy transport. In addition to these technological advancements, there is a growing recognition of the need to protect and restore natural ecosystems. Forest conservation and reforestation are essential strategies for mitigating climate change because trees absorb carbon dioxide from the atmosphere. One of the promising alternatives to traditional timber is bamboo, a fast growing plant that can be used for construction, furniture, and even textiles. Bamboo cultivation not only helps in reducing deforestation but also provides a sustainable source of income for local communities. The success of the energy transition depends on the active participation of young people. As the generation that will be most affected by the climate change, today's youth have the most to gain from a shift to sustainable energy practices. They are not just passive recipients of the consequences of the environmental degradation, they are also key drivers of change. Youth bring fresh perspectives, technological savvy, and a passion for solving global problems. By taking an active role in the energy transition, they can help shape a future that is not only sustainable but also equitable. Young entrepreneurs and innovators have the potential to lead the way in developing new technologies and business models that prioritize sustainability. The startup culture, which thrives on creativity and risk taking, is uniquely positioned to challenge the status quo. In sectors like transportation, construction, agriculture, tourism, and food production, young innovators can introduce products and services that are not only efficient but also eco-friendly. For example, electric mobility solutions, sustainable building materials, regenerative farming practices, ecotourism, and plant-based food alternatives are just some of the areas where youth-led innovation can make a big difference. Young people can act as ambassadors for the energy transition by spreading awareness about the importance of clean energy and sustainable living. Through social media, community projects, and activism, they can inspire others to adopt green practices and advocate for policies that promote renewable energy and environmental protection. The energy transition is not just a technological challenge, it is also a social and cultural one. It requires a shift in our mindset and our behaviors, as well as a commitment to sustainability at all levels of society. Governments, business, and individuals must work together to accelerate the adoption of renewable energy and reduce our reliance on fossil fuels. The youth must rise to this challenge. By embracing sustainable practices, advocating for change, and pursuing careers in the green economy, they can drive the energy transition forward. This is not just about saving the planet, it is about creating a world where future generations can thrive. The stakes are high, but so are the opportunities. As we stand at the crossroads, the choices we make today will determine the kind of the world we live for future generations. Let us choose a path of innovation, sustainability, and hope. Let us embrace the energy transition as an opportunity to redefine progress and create a better world for all. The world is at a critical moment in history where the consequences of human actions on the environment are more apparent than ever. The floods in Wayanad are a stark reminder that effects of climate change are already upon us, and they underscore the urgency of transitioning to a more sustainable energy system. This is not a distant challenge. It is here and it demands action from each one of us, especially the youth. By understanding our past, we can avoid repeating the mistakes that led us to this point. The shift from fossil fuels to green energy is not just a necessity, it is an opportunity to create a more resilient and just world. The youth, as the torch bearers of tomorrow, hold the key to driving this transformation. Their involvement in innovation, entrepreneurship, and advocacy can ensure that the energy transition is not only achievable but also inclusive and sustainable. The journey towards a greener future will not be easy, but it is a path worth taking. Together, we can build a world where clean energy powers our homes, sustainable practices guide our industries, and nature thrives alongside human development. This is the legacy we can leave for the generations to come. The time for action is now. Let us work together to turn the energy transition from a daunting challenge into a remarkable achievement. The future is in our hands, and it is up to us to make it green.
Energy Transition, a call to action for the youth. That was a speech delivered by Edwin Santhan. This talk came to you from the studios of Akashavani Mangaluru.